Are we making a video for Daddy? See, yeah, we're gonna make a video for Daddy.
Alright. I got not much of a chapter left. I should be able to kick this off. Then I gotta go because I got food on the stove.
Okay.
Alright, immediately the battle cries of the ghouls-some shrews reached their ears. Nordo dived into a wall cave, avoiding arrows as he threw slings and stones forward, lifting his head in an answering war shout to his father's warriors who were pressing up from the riverbank. Log-a-log-a-log-a-log-a-log! An arrow zipped between Pickle's ears as he flung off a rounded stone from his sling. There was a satisfying thud as it caught a toad gourd in the throat. Toads were everywhere, swinging their vicious flails and thrusting with tridents. Fierce-eyed ghouls-some warriors, their heads bound in bright-colored cloths, leapt to the fray, parrying and rip-posting with their short fencing rapiers. Yaha, it's death to you, scumbag! On guard, 1-2, slay! Mara and the rest whirled stones upward with as much speed and force as they could muster, dodging arrows and ducking long pike thrusts from the toads on top. King Glagweb turned back and forth, trying to divide his attention between the prisoners of the pit and the advancing ghouls-some shrews. The element of surprise was working well. The shrews drove the toad masses backwards, mercilessly pushing them into the flames of their own cooking fires as they did. Log-a-log, the fierce-eyed leader of the shrews, fought like a mad beast, throwing himself onto several toads at a time, regardless of danger. Bleeding from a dozen trident and flail cuts, he fought wildly with tooth and rapier, all the time booming out in his gruff bass voice. I'm coming, Nordo, my son. Log-a-log-a-log-a-log. Several shrews had been slain by the toads, but the losses on King Glagweb's side were far heavier. The toads were beginning to lose heart. They still fought on, but they were pushed into retreat by the ferocity of the ghouls-some attack. Down in the pit there were 4 dead shrews, but the prisoners never stopped for a moment. The upward hail of stones was so fast and thick that they felled many toads. Mara leapt out of the cave she had been slinging from, heaving and throwing anything that came within reach of her paws. For a second she glimpsed the snarling features of King Glagweb, then he retreated from the edge. Mara, he's getting away! Pickle's voice called out to her over the melee. The trident's over there! 2 toad guards had been knocked down into the pit. They lay dead in the deep, watery mud, still holding their tridents. Immediately, Mara sensed what Pickle meant. Snatching the 2 tridents, she used them as climbing spikes. Paw over paw, up the side of the pit she went, using the tridents to haul herself. Thrusting them deep into the slippery sides and exerting all of her huge strength, she thrust her way up to the top, flailing with the tridents. She sent 2 toads hurtling into the pit before she took off after Glagweb. The king of the toads wobbled and hopped through the swamps. Toad warriors less ponderous than himself passed him on both sides as they fled from the wrath of the ghouls-some fighters. Worms, deserters, come back and help your king, Glagweb spat at the toads. Chancing to look back, he saw Mara coming after them. The toad king's throat bulged with terror as he tried to go faster. The badger maid was a frightening sight, her eyes red with rage, foam flecking her jaws as she hurtled forward regardless of brush or sapling. Glagweb froze with horror, the strength draining from his flabby limbs as the young badger threw herself through the air and pounced upon him. The Log-a-log and several of his crew came dashing up as Mara lifted Glagweb from the ground bodily, both her paws locked around his throat. He dangled helplessly, croaking feebly as his legs tried to reach the ground. Mara found herself suddenly borne down beneath the weight of half a dozen shrews. Blinded by her warlike badger spirit, she turned to fight them as her prisoner was wrested out of her grasp. Log-a-log's rapier touched her throat. Be still, young badger. Leave this one to us. He is our longtime enemy, and we will deal with him. Come and watch. The toad camp had been destroyed, and those who had not fled were slain. Pickle, Nordo, and the others were hauled up out of the pit. Shrew warriors gathered around the pit edge as Glagweb was dragged forward. He snarled and spat all about him. Log-a-log took little notice of Glagweb's anger as he unceremoniously kicked the Toad King down into the pit. 2 shrews nearby loosed the mouth of a sack and something flashed down to join the toad in the pit. The shrew leader smiled. So then, Toad King, you end up in your own pit, the same pit that you kept my shrews in so that you could eat them. Other creatures are flesh eaters too. Take, for instance, the pike that has just been thrown in there with you. He is only half grown but fierce. Why don't you try to eat him, Glagweb? Once he is hungry enough, he is going to try to eat you. I call that justice, Toad King. Eat or be eaten. Goodbye. Glagweb recoiled to the side of the pit, trying to avoid the ominous dorsal fin that stuck out of the muddy waters. The pike cruised the pit bottom, looking for food. Farther down from the toad camp lay the South Stream. Moored on the bank were 15 huge logs, each one hollowed out into a long dugout. The shrews sat in pairs along the length of each log. Mara and Pickle were seated in the prow of the leading log with Nordo and his father. The dugouts pushed out from the bank, and the shrews paddled them out into the center of the broad stream, which meandered to the southeast. Where are you from, Mara? Log-a-log questioned Mara as they rode the stream. From the mountain called Salamanderstraud, sir. Do you know how we can get back there? The shrew nodded. It is a long journey, but I know the way. I am Log-a-log of all these waters. The South Stream has many tributaries, and I know them all like the back of my paw. I will take you to the mountain, but first you must come with me. I have other plans for you at the moment. Pickle smiled coyly. Other plans, eh? Give us a hint, Log-a-thing. The grim expression on Log-a-log's face wilted Pickle.
Hey.
Turned aside, muttered, only ask. No harm in jolly well asking, is there? Wonder what shrew tucker tastes like. I could eat a toad.
No, you can get
Into
a
that
spanking.
chapter.
You're gonna get a spanking.
Yeah, I'm gonna, well, oh, and another thing. I forgot to file my unemployment yesterday. I filed it today. So I don't know if I'm gonna get it on Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh, okay.
But then after I get the money, I'm gonna see if I can't pick up Fraggle Rock for him somewhere, and then I'll mail both things together.
Okay.
But yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. I'm just not sure which.
Here, wanna talk to Daddy? Yeah?
Check my food. I am it.
No button pushing. Yeah, I got the phone. My daddy's talking. Oh. Yeah. Say hi, Daddy.
Wait till you see Fraggle Rock, Emmett. Fraggle Rock is crazy. Do you have a copy of the Dark Crystal there?
No.
That's something I'll get him in the future. Gotta get him all the good stuff, right?
Yeah. Hey, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not those crappy Disney movies.
You don't like Disney movies now?
No, I like them. It's just they make so many of them. A lot of them are really bad. Like, The Sandlot and stuff like that.
I don't think I've ever seen that. No.
If he's like me, those bird things from the Dark Crystal will give him the heebie-jeebies.
The bird things from the Dark Crystal are creepy.
But, yeah, they're very creepy. The voices they gave them were freaking awesome.
Hey, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Emmett. Stop that. He's been learning that he can hit, and that he can bite, and that he can use his head as a battering ram.
So he's learning to defend himself.
Or just beat people up, since nobody's trying to kill him or anything. It's like, no, Emmett, you can't play with that glass bottle because you like to try and bounce things, and you take it from him, and then he gets mad and he punches you. You been beating up on folks? You know it. Ah.
Alright, well, my dinner is finished.
Daddy's gonna eat dinner now. Stop pushing buttons. And he's figured out the remote control. He knows that if you push the buttons on the remote control, you can change the TV. He doesn't know that you're not supposed to change the TV to static or whatever. But he does know that he can make the TV change. So, whenever he gets into the Grammy's room, he gets her remote and changes the channel, and she lets him do it for some reason. Or he'll get the one out in the living room. Hey, why are you throwing? Mommy's gonna hold it now. Nope, you don't get to hold it anymore. You threw it. That was the third time. And this room is an absolute freaking mess. But I'm gonna make a video, but anyway. No. Say hi, Daddy.
I haven't.
Say hi. He just wants to push the buttons.
Like that. Alright.
So, are you gonna go now, or?
Yeah.
Alright.
Gonna eat.
Say bye, Daddy.
Half hour earlier, but I didn't get an answer.
Oh. Mommy had company. And, I was in here, and the phone's not in here. So. No. Bye, Daddy.
Bye-bye, Emmett. I love you.
Daddy loves you. Say love you, Daddy.
Bye-bye.
One of these days you're gonna talk. Alright, Steve. Bye. You bad boy. You got the phone? See, yeah, I got it. Let's turn you around to see you people. He has had red juice today. I don't know if you can tell or not, but yeah, he had some juice and it was red. And he's enormous. Emmett.
You have one.
No. And he's figuring out buttons. Did you figure out the buttons? And the phone isn't for you this time. Hello?